If you've been diagnosed with anovulation, you may be scrambling to wrap your head around what exactly this means. Essentially, it's when a woman doesn't ovulate during her menstrual cycle. This has obvious effects on your fertility, but the good news is that there are tons of nutritional factors that are well within your control that you can work on to help you ovulate. Hello, if this is our first time connecting, welcome. My name is Melanie McGrice and I'm a fertility and prenatal dietitian. I help couples boost their fertility and give their babies the best start possible with the power of good food. I have tons of videos available on these topics and I'm creating new ones all the time. So to keep up to date with the latest news, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Now, in this video, I'm going to discuss some of the reasons why you may not be ovulating and what you can do about it from a nutritional point of view. We know that ovulation is essential for a successful pregnancy. It's controlled by a cascade of hormones that are choreographed to form your menstrual cycle. And when one or more of these hormones veer off track, ovulation may halt. Now, the main cause of anovulation is polycystic ovarian syndrome. This is a complex disorder that wreaks havoc on your hormones and affects up to 20% of women of reproductive age. What and how much you eat will affect your insulin levels as well as your sensitivity to insulin. High insulin levels and insulin resistance play a big part in the development of polycystic ovarian syndrome. So it makes sense to focus on optimizing your intake to lower insulin levels and limit insulin resistance by increasing your body's sensitivity. Insulin is mainly secreted in response to eating carbohydrate-containing foods. The amount and quality of these foods will affect your blood sugar response and thus your insulin response as well. To keep these levels under control, it's important to choose your carb-containing foods wisely. Refined foods such as white flour, white bread, white rice, pastries and breakfast cereals, as well as sweet goodies such as fizzy drinks, chocolates and sweets, are all very concentrated forms of carbs. This means that you get a lot more carbs in a smaller amount of food, so it's very easy to eat too much. These carb injections skyrocket your insulin levels. While this is okay once in a while, when it happens regularly, your cells start to ignore the insulin and become insulin resistant. Rather, choose minimally processed or whole carb containing foods such as whole grains, legumes, fruits and veggies. Not only are these packed with healthy vitamins, minerals and antioxidants, but they also contain fibre, which helps to slow the release of carbs in your body. The slower the release, the slower the insulin response. And spreading your carbs out throughout the day instead of having them all in one meal is also a good way to keep insulin levels down. The type of protein that you choose can also have an effect on your insulin response. It seems that choosing plant-based proteins, such as soy, over animal-based proteins like chicken and red meat also helps to lower post-meal insulin levels. Besides keeping insulin levels down, there are a few other ways that you can increase insulin sensitivity. From a dietary perspective, you can replace some of these refined carbs, as well as saturated fats from animal proteins and processed foods, with monounsaturated fats such as olives, olive oils and avocado. A good example of this would be to have a whole wheat sandwich with chickpea and avo mash, rather than your regular ham and cheese on white bread. Certain habits and lifestyle factors can also affect insulin sensitivity, like exercising more and eating your last meal earlier in the day rather than late at night. Now, PCOS isn't the only reason for anovulation. Being both overweight or underweight can significantly increase your risk. This is because your adipose or fat tissue is responsible for producing some of your sex hormones like estrogen. If you have too much fat, your body makes too much estrogen and it acts like a contraceptive. While if you have too little fat, there may not be enough estrogen to support menstruation. Trying to get a healthy weight can be tricky, and in some cases you may not be eating enough to sustain your reproductive cycle. When you eat too little, your body tries to conserve as much energy as it can by shutting down all the processes it doesn't need to survive. And this includes reproduction. This is one of the reasons why extreme dieting is not a good choice for women who are looking to fall pregnant. All in all, the research shows that you can decrease your risk for anovulation by a whopping 69% by eating a healthy diet, exercising, and optimizing your weight. To get you started, why don't you download my free fertility meal plan at melaniemcgrice.com/fertility. And if you feel like you need some personalised advice, go ahead and book an appointment with one of our highly skilled dietitians who can guide you through this process and help you maximise your chances for success. Now, that's a wrap for today. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Pre-insulin 7. These carb injections skyrocket your insulin level. Sorry.